Good morning all, hope you're doing well. We had a big pump on risk appetite yesterday. We are actually sitting at 96 out of 100 out of the technical scores. So it's measuring the Dow Jones and the S&P and NASDAQ. It's checking the VIX and Treasury yields and the dollar. And individual companies, Tesla really pumped yesterday. It's nearly an 8% move in a single day. Now the thing is, what we're doing, we're using this sale up here. As long as this is green, we're looking to buy. But right now, it might not be a good time to buy because we should have bought when we're much lower. We were at 5 on Friday. Two Fridays ago, we were on 5 out of 100. So that was a perfect time to enter. As long as this remains green, then we know we're on the right side of the track. And we know that we should be buying risk because at the big picture that the herd are short. Okay, so as long as we're green up here, we're looking to buy, but perhaps now today not a good time to buy because we're obviously nearly to 100. We want to get nice and low, so wait for that to get nice and low and looking to buy indices as long as this is green. That's the plan. But currently today I wouldn't enter now because we've missed the opportunity. We have to enter when we're low, right? So that's that. It's quite simple. It's not really hard to understand, really. You want to get when the scores are low, and then you want to de-risk, take profit or scale out when it's high. 8N is top and CAD Swiss is bottom, but we're very extreme on the sentiment, so we're probably going to have to come down to punish those guys just to get them out of the casino because they're too long. Basically, they need to get destroyed. So we need to fall, and then these guys will get demolished, and then they have to leave the casino. So note that some cross yen are at the top, right, and the bit in the middle is probably worth maybe being a little bit wary about because these can go any way. And like I said yesterday, if you're looking to trade anything in the middle, you might want a fundamental driver for that particular trade. You might have a bias on the Aussie for long or short. So it all depends on you, on what you think, on a fundamental basis, what should happen to that. If you think it should be fundamentally bearish, perhaps it might fall because we're in the middle, right? So ideally for me, I would avoid the middle section and just trade the bottom and trade the top. Let's take your RDP and then we'll have a look at the indices. So here is gold, and we had a big interchange here. We had a Dragonfly doji, so we can map a box, and so these dojis are quite common, I've noticed. So when we have a doji, it kind of corresponds to the crossover, which is really interesting. So this is an indecision candle. If there's indecision in the market, then it sometimes throws the retail participants off track, and that seemed to work quite well, and it really pumped. really pumped. Wow, that was a $20 move, isn't it? Yeah, in a short space of time. So you've done incredibly well there. You had supports prior, and we created the new one here. So you could have potentially gone long above that, this support here. Even then, that would have been a good trade. So there's gold, and we haven't got a crossover imminent, but we will inevitably have one. Maybe today, tomorrow, perhaps even maybe even Friday. So, and also get NFP Friday, don't forget as well. S&P. Oh, come on. Yeah, so basically we made the buy here, and so you're looking for longs. I published it maybe 5 times, so you had a decent heads up about that. So you could look for a long, basically place your stop loss here potentially 4400. It's quite cheap stops, 18 points. It's not really going to blow the bank, and you would have done quite well from a risk to reward perspective. That would have been very nice. But however, right now, because the technical scores are so high, you might want to wait for the next dip. It's up to you. But I would imagine there should be a reaction here because we had some prior resistance up at that level around here. So we're coming up to that chop zone there. US 30. And we'll do DAX, and we'll look at the robot. The robot had a fantastic day yesterday. I was very happy. So we'll do a box here. Come on. Oh, oh God. And then, yeah, that's fine. Draw a box. Oops, I didn't quite map it, but you understand it. It's supposed to be this one here, but that's fine. And so they'd sold it, so we'd come up, so that's fine. And perhaps we might get a crossover, but we have to be careful. Okay, so the lines are fairly close, but we haven't had the crossover yet. And then DAX, and the poor retail traders have got screwed again. And fortunately for you guys watching the videos, you'll know that you're being on the right track with using the risk calculation, because we look at that on a daily basis, and we looked at it every day for years. So hopefully you understand how it works. Support, and then you could probably argue perhaps another one here, because we could have probably had a crossover. We kind of had one, didn't we? So there, that's fine. So we've got 3 supports underneath now. And for me, I'm out of my S&P trade, and I'm going to look to buy when we're nice and low again. But I made some really good profits, so I'm quite happy. And there, it's roughly there, isn't it? But we can see we've got supports, and that's DAX. So that's that. And then robot. And so currently we had a really good day yesterday. We had 15 trades, and 12 of them went to profit, 3 of them went to loss. But because we trimmed the stop loss distance, those losses were not so bad. Because we trimmed the stop loss distance, we actually made quite a good profit yesterday, so quite happy. It's possible that this EJs might screw us a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. And we had quite a lot of indecision on EJ this morning, so you'll just have to wait and see, like I say. And we've got EU sales as well, which you can see they're going into profit. The herd are net long on the EURUSD, and because of that, because they switched over 50%, we've got the sales, and that's the logic. So we should be doing okay today, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's it. So hopefully you trade safely, and you know what the plan is. And if you've got any questions, you can ask me. I won't mind at all. And remember, the plan is basically we're looking to buy when that's nice and low, as long as that's green. Okay, so if you enter now, a bit risky, better to buy when we're low, and then you get a good entry and you get a good risk to reward. And it's all about getting a good reward for what you're prepared to risk. So trade safely. I'll speak to you guys soon.